Hi, this is Karen with Karen's Cards and More, and today I want to show you a card design that, especially if you're just getting started in card making and maybe you don't have as many supplies, and I know it can be discouraging when you watch videos with people with all these different things and you may be saying, well, I can't make that because I don't have that many supplies yet. So I wanted to show you an idea that you could do with a few supplies, and something that I wanted to show you how the colors can change it up, and I'm really only using one color other than the accents. So this is our Monochromatic Mania for today, and so I want to show you how I made these. Now this one is Daffodil Delight, and this one is Pacific Point. Today we're going to make one that's Bermuda Bay. So we'll be able to compare all three colors and see how different they look, but yet it's all the same principle. These are Stampin' Up! Products, and I'm an independent demonstrator, and you can order these products and find the card recipe on my blog at karenscardsandmore.com, and I'll put the link for that in the description below, so you don't need to worry about writing down measurements. It'll all be there for you. Be sure to check out, when you're at my blog, check out my rewards program for people that order from me. So let's get right to it. So the card base that I'm going to use today is this Bermuda Bay that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then you need another piece of Bermuda Bay that's 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of basic white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. Now we're not going to decorate up the inside today, but you could definitely do that. I'll show you on the one example. I just put a piece of the Daffodil Delight cardstock just to give it a little bit of character. This one I didn't do anything on the inside, so you could definitely do some stamping. And I want to show you this. I don't know if it's going to show in the camera, but these letters, I love this set, and I'll show you this die set. It's such a cool set. But I used, if you can see that it's real glittery on the letters, I'm going to show you how I did that. And the background here, it almost has the appearance of velveteen. By doing it, stamping it on the cardstock with the same color ink, it gives it almost a velveteen look, and I really like that look. So we're going to start with our, before I get right into it, I should show you the die set I'm using is the Amazing Thanks, and it comes with the word thanks and you are amazing, and it gives you the shadow die as well as the detail die. And so for this card, for the shadow die, I cut it out of basic white. And then for the detail die, I cut it out of the Bermuda Bay, but I cut 2 of each word. So we're going to layer those together to give us a little bit of dimension on the front of our card. So let me move those out of the way. The stamp that I'm using today this is a retiring stamp. If you like this stamp, you'll want to get it before it goes away on May 2nd. When the new catalog comes out on May 3rd, this is not in the new catalog. This is called Wild Roses, and it's a background stamp. And let me show you. It's on a big, heavy wooden block. And it's really good for backgrounds. I love it for this technique. There's a lot of techniques you could do. You could do the kiss technique with this. You could do a thump technique. And maybe I'll do some other videos to show those techniques. But very great, very good stamp set. So if you want to get that before it retires, you might want to go order it today. So this is what we're going to start with. And I'm just going to be using one of the little ink cubes. You could use the full-size ink pad, whatever you have. And I'm just going to ink this up. I just want to get good coverage, get a lot of ink. And it It probably takes a little longer with the ink cube than with the ink pad. It goes pretty quick with the full-size pad, but I wanted to show the versatility of this in case all you have are ink cubes or ink spots. You can still make this card. I didn't want you to feel discouraged if you don't have a ton of supplies. So I'm just going to keep working with this. I want to make sure that it's really good and inked up because that's what's going to give us our velveteen look. So let's just keep going with this. I want to make sure I don't have any bare areas on here. And that looks pretty good. That's pretty good coverage. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my piece of cardstock. This is my Bermuda Bay cardstock. And I'm just going to lay this on top of this piece. And I'm just bringing in a scrap piece of paper to put over top of that. And I'm just going to rub on it like this, to let the ink transfer from the stamp. It's much easier to do this than to try to turn the block over and stamp on it. So I'm just rubbing over top of this without moving the cardstock to make sure that I get my ink transferred. And this method keeps the ink from transferring to my hands, which will then get all over my project. So and then I'm just going to come in with my tweezers. And there we have our stamped image. And as I said, it kind of looks like a velveteen look. And so I really like that. So I'm just going to set this aside and let it dry. And we can start working on putting our words together. We're going to start with our Bermuda Bay, our detailed dies. And we're just going to glue these together. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, my big silicone mat. And we're going to bring in the Bermuda Bay details. And we're just going to glue these together. And I'm using the fine tip glue pen because for this, it's just really the best way to go about it. So let me get my words separated here. I'm going to start with the U. So I'm just turning one of them over. And I'm just going to just add some glue to the back of these, to one of them. And this is real easy. You can almost write like you would a pen and follow the cursive. So I'm just going around this. And then I'm just going to, for me, the best way to do this is with my tweezers. You can do it with your fingers really easy, whatever works for you. And I like to start on the bottom of that Y to layer them. It just helps me get it started. And then I'm just going to lay it down over top. I'm just trying to make sure I get it on there, and then I'm just pressing down so that it's 2 layers thick. And what that's going to do is it's going to help give us some dimension, some elevation. So then I'm going to come in with my R. I'm just going to turn one of these over, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to put some of this liquid glue from the fine tip pen along the back. And I'm just following the cursive. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pick it up with my tweezers, and I'm just going to line it up letter by letter. Just like that. And that one's ready to go. And now we're going to do the big one. Turn that around so it can be ready when I get the glue on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and I just go letter by letter and just set it down on top of there. Just like that, and then press it down. Okay. Now we're ready to glue these on the shadows. Now, what I did for this, I just glued these straight down on the shadows. I'm going to use dimensionals when I put them on the card, but I did not use dimensionals when I put them on the shadow. And I'm just really doing the same process as I did when I layered them. I'm just putting glue on the back, and then we'll just set it down on the shadow. I'm just going to try to center that on the white. Press it down. Okay. And we're good to go. Okay. And then we're ready to start putting our card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my basic white piece. So I'm just going to bring in some Stampin' Seal. And this is just going to go on the inside of our card. I'm just trying to line that up. Press that down. And then for our inked piece, our stamped piece, I'm just going to put a little Stampin' Seal on the back, just on the one side, because that's how I'm going to attach my ribbon. So I'm using the gray granite ribbon. And I'm just going to place it about where I want it, press one end down into that Stampin' Seal, and then I'll cut it. And then I just flip it over, make sure I've got it straight, and press that down into the back, and it's in that Stampin' Seal and it's going to hold it. And then I'm just going to come along with the Stampin' Seal and go right back over all the sides. Just like that, right over the ribbon. And then we're ready to mount this on our card. Just try to make sure I've got it even and press that down. And we're ready to place our words on. And I usually just lay them on here to figure out placement on it to see how I want it before I attach them down. And when I do that, I just go back over my words, just, you know, look over your words, make sure you've got everything glued down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach our words. And for this, I'm going to use mini dimensionals. And I always start with the big word first, and then I go back and add my smaller words. So I'm just going to come in, move everything up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just coming in with mini dimensionals and putting them along my word. Like that. I think I want to put one more right in there just to make sure. And then I'm just going to try to center that in the remaining space and get it even. Just like that. And I'll come in with our next word. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to add some mini dimensionals on the back. And place this right in here. And then we're going to add our last word. And just the same thing, just add some mini dimensionals on the back of this. I'm just going to add that right above there. Just like that. And then I came in with my Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to follow along the letters. I'm just going to just go over the Bermuda Bay portion. It's raised nice and well, and so it's real easy just to go over that. So I'm just brushing this, And I'm just squeezing a little as I brush to make sure that I've got the glitter, the sparkle coming out. Now you'll want to give this a few minutes to dry before you put it in your envelope. And then the only other thing I did is I made a little bow. I wanted to put a little bow right over here. And I'm just using my glue dots. And I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back of my bow. Just like that. And then I'm just going to lay that on top of the ribbon that we have in there. And I like to go ahead and tuck a glue dot underneath the ribbon too, because it holds it all in place. And you can always, like if you have one leg of your ribbon that's not staying where you want it, you can always add another glue dot behind there, and that'll help that to lay down. So I'm just going to go under here, tuck another glue dot under there. And then I'm able to just tack that a little bit and get it to stay in place the way I want it. The only thing left to do from there is to fold our card. I'm going to come in with my bone folder, give it a good little crease. And there we have it. 3 completely different colors. You got Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point, and Daffodil Delight. 3 different colors, the same style. I did everything the same, but you get different looks, and you really had minimal supplies. I hope you'll give this a try. If this is your first time with me, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing here today. Check out my Facebook group, my Facebook page, my blog, and I hope to craft with you again soon.